Well, hello friends, welcome to my upstairs and to the second edition of the follow-up to how the upstairs is going. So this is a little bit into it, and a lot of you have been asking, guess what? It's taking a long time because remodels take a long time. I have lots of details and little things I want to make sure go right, and that means it takes time, along with different things like my first electrician backing out, finding another one, and he wonderfully could fit me in little bits here and there, and it finally is wrapping up. So it's a good time to kind of show you where we're at, what's going on, and guess what? This is what gives you a real depiction of a remodel. When I remodeled my main floor, when I remodeled this floor, there are so many times that there's setbacks or things that take longer that you don't expect or things that have to be fixed that you didn't know because the house is over 100 years old. I love it, and that's just how it is. So if you remember, right now we're standing in what is the hallway and is now gonna be opened up into the office space right here. So this office space, what I love about it now is you are experiencing the afternoon sun that will flood in as we're working at the office, which I love. So there's gonna be a built-in desk here. And last time you watched this video, I don't think this window existed yet. I think the windows are being replaced, but they hadn't been done. There was never a window on this wall. And what I love is there's gonna be two spaces at a desk, and now you can see out of them out the window. And personally, I love the view. It's my backyard where I spend so much time working anyway. So it's always been a part of the house where you can't really see a good view of the backyard. Now I can actually enjoy the fruits of my labor while I'm sitting, working, writing recipes, posts, and everything from here, which to me is, to me when you add a window where there never was one, it's wonderful. So in doing that, that's not the only window that was added. We doubled the window here in the hallway just to let more light in. You know, sometimes in older homes, they usually had large windows back when they were built, and then over time they kind of get smaller sometimes. Well, now they're back to somewhat more the original size, but with a little bit of additions of more light, which I really love. So in this space, we now have electrical done in the whole upstairs, which definitely took time. I am someone that loves sconces. I love good lighting, well-lit areas, but also have a real yearning for good design of lighting. So it takes me a while to think through how I'm doing all that. So what you will notice are things like wires coming out where sconces are going to be. A lot of electricians, I'm not going to say all of them, we're different everywhere. Your zones, how you're zoned or inspected could be different, but where I live, a lot of people like to run wire and then cut holes for lighting later to make sure they're in the right spots. So for my baseboards, all my electrical outlets up here are going to be in the baseboards, which is what the original house had. This was actually just to tell you one mistake I felt like I did on my main floor. I did not do that. My outlets were above my baseboard. My baseboard's like a foot high, and it makes the outlets really feel high up. These up here will be in the baseboards, which to me is correct for this style house and the age, all that. This is gonna be a wall of built-in bookshelves for all my cookbooks, all the books I collect. It's gonna have picture lights, of course, above them, which I've had my lighting ordered and in the house, actually in my shed, for 2 years now, because I was planning on doing this a long time ago. Supply chain issues, it just doesn't work. So in this bedroom, as you're walking towards it, you're gonna notice up above, a big change up here was HVAC. And you're seeing all of these ran to different vents. My upstairs, obviously when this house was built, there was no such thing as forced air heating or cooling. It didn't have that. It had a chimney that did not have a fireplace. It had a furnace in the basement with a chimney. And it had very minimal, like a couple places where heat could get out upstairs, and that's it. So that was one setback of taking a while to really figure out HVAC and how it's gonna work up here. So now that's what a lot of the attic space is being used for, is HVAC. And you can see that that is ran now to vents in every room. There's cold air returns. It's all put up correctly and together, and that actually, even though that is an expense that is never fun to have, it's one that really excites me, because growing up in an old house and living in an old house now, having good heating and cooling in especially the upstairs of an old house is a huge deal. So the bedrooms obviously haven't really changed. The electrical is ran for them, thinking through all the different switches I wanted. In these two bedrooms, they're really gonna mimic each other. The only difference is one is slightly bigger than the other, but they're gonna have some built-in closet type cabinets on each side because there's not good closets. So they're gonna have lots of storage. And then they're gonna have a little window seat since there's storage. And above each window, just on one window in each bedroom, I'm gonna do a picture light. I love them. And again, I've had these for 2 years, but you can see how excited I am because I love lighting. Lighting to me. So above each window is gonna have this gorgeous light. I'm super excited to have it there. I've been looking at these for a couple years in the box, so to actually be able to think in a couple months we may see them on the wall, that to me is super exciting. So the windows are all done. This window we are not finishing fully on the outside because they're gonna have to pop that out to bring some of the cabinetry in up here and to bring in the walls, like the board for the walls, the drywall. But let's go to the other bedroom. When you come into this bedroom, this one's slightly bigger, so you could call it the master. It's really no different other than it's a few feet bigger. You can see here cold air returns in every room. So they are on this side and then the other side for the other bedroom. The one thing I did have, these are the things I have to always be watching, making sure I change, but the cold air returns at first went all the way to the floor. I had to actually have them adjusted a foot up because I wanted electrical to come on each side of the bed. The bed will be against this wall and I wanted to make sure to have outlets. So I had to make sure they could raise this cold air because you don't want to drill into or have wires run through cold air if you don't have to, because that is a point where it would pull in air it shouldn't. So just little things like that is what I'm always watching and adjusting for. Otherwise, this room is really mimicking the other room. We're gonna have closets that are kind of built in here, and they're gonna have a little window seat in between. Picture light again over top of this window, but otherwise, it just is what it is. What I am already loving is these windows are just slightly larger than the ones I had because these are going back to more original sizing. And you just have some beautiful views. The grass is greening up outside, so I'm really able to start seeing the views I'm gonna have. And that really excites me because obviously all this is gonna change. I'm gonna show you when drywall goes up because that really changes the space. Right now everything seems open and big, but then once you put walls up, it starts coming back in and kind of really defining your space. But this is an exciting spot to be, to see what the bedroom's gonna be. Bed here, think what you're looking out onto. It's all really exciting, but especially so is the bathroom, which you can see through this wall, but not quite. So let's go around the corner. So as you come out of that bedroom, you're back in the main hallway to office area. There will be some shelving here to put just some storage. Again, it's an old house. You know, this house doesn't have closets really, it never really did. So the shelving and storage areas are really important. So that's what really has taken time to make sure I'm gonna have ample spaces to have hidden storage, but that also looks nice. So here there's gonna be a kind of a space on top of all that storage where I can put some pictures if I want to, some decor. I'm already thinking of Christmas where I can put everything, because that's always what I think through is the different times of year. There will of course be a different rail put in and it will go all the way around, obviously for safety. This will be a half wall to stop the built-in desk, but the rail will come all the way around, stop on the wall. So Kip, my French Bulldog, when he's up here will be safe and can just look through the rail but not fit through. Things like that. You know, all these little spots of like where outlets go, what at Christmas I may want to plug in, may not want to plug in, where I'm going to want to put a Wi-Fi router. Right now it's on the main floor, but I may want it up here since all the computer things will be up here now. I need to think all that through, and that's what takes me so long to keep. I just continually walk through the spaces and think, okay, I'm going to walk up here. This is where you want to turn on the light. This is where you want to turn off another light. You have to think all that through, and for me, I'm a method person, so I like to be able to walk through this space and think that. So that's what I've been doing. But through here is where now you're going to, from the hallway, go into the bathroom. And yes, it's a mess up here right now. You know, each different contractor or worker that comes, you know, is different on how they work. So I'm gonna obviously clean all this up before they come and insulate this week. I'm having insulation later this week, and I'll have all this cleaned up and I'll vacuum and everything. I try to vacuum at the different stages when each person is done. I just haven't done it yet between what has happened and what's gonna happen. But through here is the bathroom. We're gonna have a pocket door. So it's a tight space and I wanna make sure that that pocket door is never sitting open in the bathroom or sitting open in this little hallway. This hallway again is gonna have some storage and that's really important. It also has just a beautiful window to have light. But then in this bathroom, the biggest change, this didn't exist. There is never this window. So back originally, this wasn't a bathroom. The upstairs just had 4 rooms because it was pretty much a 4 square American farmhouse is kind of what we call those. And that means there were only 4 rooms. There was probably no indoor plumbing when it was built. Then over time, they made this into a bathroom and they actually closed in an original window. So now we have a window back in the bathroom, which to me is is wonderful because now in the morning you get east light in there. It's not where anyone can see you. Obviously I'll probably put a shade on it, but it's actually far removed from anything, so I really like that. Plumbing has pretty much all stayed the same but had to be redone. So toilet is where it always was. There's gonna be a big cabinet here that hides the toilet. That was really important to me. I didn't have the space to have fully a water closet as you would for a lot of toilets anymore because I couldn't really move the plumbing. It's with joists in the floor, things that just didn't work, but it is gonna be hidden from just walking past, and that to me is nice. In here I will have the vanities over here. It's all plumbed for the vanities. The shower is going to just be right here, and it fits just perfectly in the space, which is really important. Things like, it is gonna be a tiled shower, so I had to think ahead where am I gonna set my shampoo? Things like that. So I have a niche that will have to be put in place and will be tiled around. It's all those little details. I really more and more realize why people work with someone like a designer or someone is because so many little details are easy to forget, and it probably takes me longer because I don't think of them until it's almost too late, and then maybe things have to be worked on differently. That's what really you can tell designers are so knowledgeable at, or things like that. So shower here. We have wiring that they're gonna finish up a couple things on, but the vent will obviously be in the shower to keep the humidity and everything out. Otherwise, it's a pretty standard bathroom. Vanity, toilet, has the function. A little closet here, which will be nice again. Every little nook and cranny, I can think of some storage, whether it's for cabinetry like here or a closet here. I'm putting wherever I can because this house never really had good storage. So let's just go back to the hallway, kind of finish up where we're at. So you can come back with me. So this week, depending when you watch this, the next step that's gonna happen is insulation. After insulation happens, which they do have to insulate, make sure on the roof too, because since I have HVAC now up in that attic space, insulation is important along with air handling, making sure it has good circulation and everything. But after the insulation, then walls will go up, the drywall will go up. After that, flooring, which I am super excited for. That is now scheduled. It is on the calendar, which finally for me is like, it's like, I'm glad that's on the schedule. Because to me, once that flooring will go in to match my downstairs, it'll be exciting. The original floor up here is not really salvageable. It has a lot of pieces that have been knocked out when they were trying to put in electric years ago. It has pieces that just weren't working when they had to take out old features, and it's gonna be a clean slate and match my downstairs. And then after that's done, cabinetry, walls can be finished, all those things can happen. So we're slowly going, and I will bring you along again. So once we have the drywall up, I'll kind of show you where we're at because it will really change how the space looks. It will look completely different. It will feel darker at first, just because right now you see through walls. But it's exciting. It's an exciting process. It's a long process, but now I'm outside anyway a lot working, so it all happens. So thanks for coming along. I'm gonna keep bringing you along. Until then, what I'm gonna do is clean up and vacuum all these spaces so they look all cleaned up until insulation happens.